Some of you here are still thinking that supernatural things do not exist, or maybe it only exists in the movies, or it only tales, fairy tales. Some of you believe it doesn't just exist. But today I'm going to prove to you that supernatural activities or paranormal activities exist in this part of the world, and I have story to back my claim. I'm going to be showing you stories, real stories from Nigerians about their paranormal experience. Let us go with number one. Now, Angela was a 14-year-old girl. She had a friend called Cosley. Now, Angela and Cosley were very, very close. Even their parents were very close. But it happened to be that Cosley was mostly the one who always go to visit Angela in her home. Now, Angela's parents were very, very fond of Cosley. So anytime she comes around, she's let into the house. She goes to any part of the house she wants to. And it kept on going on like that. And Cosley will always visit Angela. But Angela never visited Cosley for one day, although she knew Cosley's parents. So on this particular day, Angela made it a point in her heart that she's going to try to visit Cosley, so it doesn't look like the relationship is one-sided, if you know what I mean. So she tries to create that balance between the both of them. So now on this day, Angela rather takes permission from her parents that she'll be spending the night. That was a Saturday, that she'll be spending the night in Cosley's house. Now, she already pepped Cosley before now that she's coming on Saturday to spend the night with Cosley. Or not just spend the night, she will come from the evening and stay through till the next day and go back on Sunday to prepare to church with her parents. Now, that was the arrangement that they made. Now, Angela had already told her parents, and this fateful Saturday, around 4 p.m., she went to Cosley's house. And when she went to Cosley's house, they were busy outside, they were just playing. But it also happened to be that the particular day she had chosen to go to see Cosley's parents were not going to be sleeping at home that night. It meant simply that it was going to be Cosley and Angela who was sleeping at home that night. Now, after they had finished playing, it was already 7 p.m. and they went inside, prepared some noodles and they ate. And after that, they got inside. They were so tired because of the much fun and play they had had in the evening. So they just wanted to go straight to bed. That was the plan Angela had made with Cosley, that they were already tired and they had to go to sleep. So they went into Cosley's room in home. And then when they went there, they had already set the bed and they decided to sleep on the same bed. Now, they had already started sleeping and everything was moving on fine until it got to 1 a.m. 1 a.m., they started hearing footsteps in the house. Now, loud footsteps, like somebody is obviously entering the house or somebody is obviously in another room in the house. Now, this woke Angela up because she thought she didn't see a reason why there'll be footsteps in the house, because Cosley had already pepped her that her parents are not going to be coming back till tomorrow. So could it be that the parents are back? So she had to wake Cosley, and she said, Cosley, it seems your parents are back because I can obviously hear footsteps outside the room and all over the house, and these footsteps are really loud. Probably your parents are back. And Cosley wakes up and says, no, it's not possible. I actually walked them to the park and they're out of town, so it's not possible. So she just shrugged it off and went back to sleep. Now, as she did that, Angela had to start thinking that maybe she was the one imagining things. So she just had to put it all out and then she went back to bed. But this time, while she's still trying to get back her sleep, she begins to hear footsteps again. Now, this time, not just in the other rooms, but on the ceiling, in the same room. Should I say on or in? On the ceiling, in the same room that they were sleeping. And this was very, very loud. Now, she was awake, but she was still lying on the bed there, because of too much of fear to actually just wake up and see if there's actually something there that's making that sound on the ceiling. But Cosley is still very, very much asleep. So she cannot take it anymore. So she picks up a torch and then she points it on the ceiling. And when she points it on the ceiling, she sees one of the biggest shock of her life. When she did that, she points the torch on the ceiling and she sees a footprint, which probably could be a footprint of a man. Footprint just all over the ceiling, meaning that a person has probably been walking on that ceiling, maybe but standing upside down. It is a very, very funny thing to think, but that was what she saw. As she saw this, she quickly screamed and woke up Cosley in that fright. She starts telling Cosley all she has seen. Now, it will happen that Angela is going to wake Cosley up to tell her everything that she has just experienced. And again, Cosley is going to wake up and you expect that Cosley will be taken aback, but no, that's not the case here. Cosley wakes up and she listens to Angela with sleep on her face, and she was like, okay, say, Angela, just go back to bed. And that was what Costley said. And Costley is more frightened. Why would I go back to bed with all this happening? And Costley just said, yeah, it happens like that most of the time when my parents are not around. And she goes on to say, wait, your parents are not aware of this? Say, Costley goes on, she says, yes, I tried telling them, but they won't believe me. And Angela is more frightened. Like, why would this only happen when you are around? I'm sure there's not something here. But Costley is not really interested for that talk. She just wants to go back to bed. She's probably already used to those kind of things. Although it's not normal, she just go back to bed, and Angela cannot sleep anymore. So she just has to lay on the bed and just pretend that she's sleeping, waiting for the next sound that is going to wake up. But luckily for her, she doesn't hear any sounds until it gets morning. And when it's morning, Angela wakes up, pick up her things, and she dash out of the house, and she never returns. Now Angela and Costley were still friends, of course, but Angela never visited Costley. Probably that was why Costley was always the one visiting. She would spend nights in Angela's place, but never invited or really cared about Angela coming. Maybe she never wanted Angela to have that experience until Angela really wanted or really decided to come visit her. So that was it, and that was what happened. This is a true life Nigerian story, not fiction, and that is one.